Happy Monday, everybody, as we are just a few minutes away from the top of the hour, getting to 11 a.m. on a President's Day. So, if you're wondering why am I not getting any mail, that's why. So, don't worry, more junk mail coming tomorrow. Joel Verlin rocking and rolling here with you as the off season rolls on, and let's get the theme song rocking.
He is not always crazy. Another morning is hazy.
Easy today.
Flip it on and what do you know? It is time for another Tampa Motormouth show. Even when the Bucks fail, his script may go way off the rails. Hopefully entertaining, even if it is raining. And he has sports, news of all sorts. Got the Bolts and the Rays as well. You never know what is in store. And now it's time for Joel to yak some more.
All right, let's get this out of the stream. Goodbye. Thank you. Theme song. And yeah, last week definitely, I think you ended up having two basic stories that leapt out to me. Of course, early Monday morning, 4 a.m., the whole Keon White craziness with the Lil Baby. Yeah, when I first saw that, I'm going, they must be running out of rapper names. Yeah. Apparently, it was a Super Bowl party at either his place, the club he was at, wherever it was that they were rocking and rolling. The other bunch was apparently attempting to enter White, and something happened. There was a kerfuffle, and somehow White ended up getting shot in the ankle and needed surgery. So yeah, yeah. As I said last week, if your team isn't in the Super Bowl, that's not how you want to make the headlines. But as bad, oh boy, as bad as the Keon White one was for, how shall we say, the optics. Yeah, because he was shot in the ankle. That just basically affects his off the field prep for a little while, and yeah, you kind of think that's sort of one of those, maybe get a game suspension, maybe, but you kind of have a feeling everything is going to be handled in house. You probably won't hear anything about what happens to Keon White. It'll just sort of be, oh, okay, there were fines. He's a healthy scratch for a preseason game or two or all of preseason. What? Who knows? But the one that was even more of an oh boy, you know where I'm going, is of course James Pierce Jr. Because yeah, that was the shot in the ankle, misdemeanor, no charges sounded like they were filed. Yeah, it's sort of one of those. It's going to be kind of dusted under the carpet. You push it under the carpet. Let's forget about it. You, we have this here in one hand, this here in the other hand. If I all of a sudden turn around and it's not here, you know, kind of deal. But hope James Pierce Jr. Because we're talking, yeah, shooting at Super Bowl, so potential borderline felony, but probably, if anything, misdemeanors. If nobody filed any kind of complaints, nobody made any kind of official charges, White was just okay. We'll just go have the surgery, and yeah, sounded basically like it was just not a good night. But what was a career ender? Yeah, once again, James Pierce Jr. Of course, what happened? He was following his now I assume ex former girlfriend, Rakia Jackson, who plays for the WNBA team, the Sparks, and he was following her in his car and purposely rear-ended her, and then either attempted to or tried to do it again. And of course, the police ended up getting involved, and basically yeah, let me read off. Yeah, yeah. Reported charges include. Are you ready? Aggravated battery, deadly weapon times two. Aggravated stalking, fleeing, eluding police, aggravated battery on an officer, additional violations reported. He was released on bond, protective order to avoid contact. And yeah, serious criminal exposure to yeah. The summary is like possible discipline. You think? When you see that all these charges basically add up to a possibility of 70 flipping years in prison. Possible, okay, okay, AI, possible discipline under the NFL personal conduct policy. You think? You think when we're talking about many felonies, possible NFL discipline, you think more like his career is over, ah, I I'll tell you that AI definitely helps. AI definitely adds, definitely enhances. Sometimes, with all due respect to AI, it is inane. Major uncertainty for the Falcons roster planning. I don't know how much of a Pierce was to the Dolphins' plan going forward, but yeah. So got Keon White. Then of course Pierce. Oh boy, just when you saw the story, you're like, what happened? And Jackson will testify or has testified against him. So yeah, I think somebody's NFL career is donezo. Yeah, in discipline, easily, I would say half of the season. So we're talking way more than a Rashia Rice suspension. Way more. And Rashia Rice is probably going to get suspended again because he's in it. Because you saw the post by his partner, girlfriend, former whatever that was taken down. You're going, yeah, he's going to be suspended again for next season. But yeah, I think it's safe to say that, granted, I'm not an NFL executive. I've never been one. I've never had any time in an NFL executive setting in any office, anywhere, any reality. But yeah, I think it's safe to say his career is done. You're not going to have any team want to touch him with the 10 or any longer foot poles after this one. I saw one comment about when a teammate says he's a ticking time bomb. That's like, yikes. Because, yeah, this is A B type level Crazy. Seriously. So, yeah, how to end your NFL career 101. And then, of course, you had the other thing last week slash this week. Just the whole NFLPA report card thing is hilarity ensuing because now, if all of a sudden you're calling attention to something, well, we don't want these published. We're going to bar these from being published. This is the team, is the owners who are doing the crappiest job that probably don't want them published. I mean, come on, you're denying us reports about players talking about bathrooms and odors. I mean, you gotta have something for when you're having right. It's right smack in the middle of the week. There's nothing to talk about. You gotta have the NFLPA report. What's then there's another comment I saw that is so apt. That is so apt because they think, well, now that they're barred, they're banned, they can't talk them. Well, guess what's going to happen? People are going to leak them, so you'll still have them released in a sense, not in a formal sense, but they'll still be released. So, and then, of course, yeah, hopefully you survive Valentine's Day if it's Singles Awareness Day for you, or yeah, maybe you're just not the person that's like, oh, yay, Valentine's Day. How about that? Yeah, Friday the 13th and then a Valentine's Day. Yeah, what a 2 day sequence. But yeah, well, hopefully you survived the evil Valentine's Day. But if you're doing stuff you love, if you got the creative juices going, you're having fun, you're loving doing that, and you're kind of going, man, there's not a lot. You might as well do creative things because at NBA is the All Star break. Whoopee whoopee. I know people. Hey, it's something. Yeah. All Star break. Hockey is on the Olympic break because they're all playing in the Olympics. Football, we're all counting down to the NFL draft and next season because 1 week down, 30 left to go. 30 left to go. And yeah, and I know everybody's excited about baseball starting up as good news for the Trop. It's getting fixed. Yay. And how much is this new Rays Stadium going to cost? I saw, what was it? Brody Brazil plus one saying it was going to cost $2.3 billion, but then was asking if you're comparing what the renderings were, cool renderings by the way, what the renderings were to other comparable stadiums. It's more like $5 billion. And who's going to pay that? Because the Rays, of course, said they're going to do half. So I guess that means Hillsborough County is not only on going to be paying the rest. That's a lot of money, but also financing HCC having to be moved basically because the Rays stadium is going to go. Okay, that's where HCC is, and let's just move the whole HCC campus. Yeah, that's not going to cost anything. Yeah, listen, who has to pay and foot the bill for that? But yeah, and baseball. Then you also have baseball. I think is taking over broadcasting again, which is good and not good because we'll still have all this stupid blackout. So you just listen to the radio, listen to the radio, and then you don't have to worry about the stupid television blackout crap that is going to continue on in this year, right? But yeah, baseball. Part of me is happy if baseball's back, but then you have the cynical me. Then you have the cynical me that how much of a chance do the Rays really have? Because they didn't even get into the playoffs last year. They didn't even sniff the playoffs last year. And is it just going to be the Dodgers again? Right? because you're excited, and but then kind of when your brain and it's right there, and it's right there, and you're like, well, it's if it's going to be the Dodgers again, and everybody is basically playing for second place because the Dodgers are spending all this cray money that most other teams don't have. They are the new evil empire. They have surpassed the Yankees and Red Sox combined. But yeah, you're just sort of like, you're trying to get excited about baseball, but you're like, the Dodgers are going to win again. Why am I going to get excited about the Dodgers winning again? Eh, I don't know. We'll see. Maybe my brain once spring training gets done, I'm just like, okay, just sort of enjoy each game and try to pay attention to the AL East and don't worry about the evil Dodgers. And then, of course, you have the sort of Damocles kind of over the league as you're hearing all the lockout talk, right? You're seeing all the lockout. The LA means lockout ahead memes, and it's not this year. It's not this year that the lockout that you're worried about the lockout happening. It's December because apparently December 2 is when the CBA ceases, and that is potentially when. So it's not for the 2026 season. Yeah, it's not for the 2026 season. It's for the 2027 season. So it's not this year. So this year we'll have baseball, but it's next year. Now I saw another thing that apparently MLB for broadcast apparently is not going to have indications of if a pitch was a ball or strike, which that's boo, which that is definite boo. I mean, yeah, serious boo, serious boo. Hopefully they won't change that. But yeah, so it's just it's a kind of a day that you're probably your favorite radio host or hosts are going to be off because of the holiday, because it's President's Day. So you may have an imaginary conversation with Abraham Lincoln, right, or George Washington, or a good movie. Good movie to watch would be 1776, and the musical about the founding of the country. It's lighthearted, it's comedy, it's got some seriousness in it, but it's a good one. It's a good one. It's a good one to watch. But quick audiobook report, quick one to try without giving away too many spoilers, as I know I'm bad about that. That's just one of my things about being a motor mouth is that you're going and you're like, oh, I just gave away the whole book. I just gave away the whole episode. Sorry about that. That's just one of the things about being a motor mouth. You talk and you yak and you're like, oh, I probably shouldn't have said that, right? But book to recommend. That's a good one. If you are into time travel, if you like parallel universe stuff, The Shortened Chronicles by Rosalind Tate, and it's not by Virtual Voice because, oh my good God, you're seeing all these titles that you're like, ooh, new release, that look good. And you're just like, it's Virtual Voice. And after you do a couple of books by Virtual Voice, it drives you flipping nuts. It just does. But it's an interesting take on the time travel because you have two students, Hugo Harrington and Sophie Arundel. They enter what they think with her dog Charlotte. They enter a lift in a university, and all of a sudden, the lift actually turns into this time travel ship that apparently can go between universes. And when they wake up, they're actually in the 1900s in a place called Shorten. and it's actually a 6 book series, and you can actually have it if you find it now, where it's just the box set, so you can boom get it all in one listen. If you don't like having, well, 6 separate additions to your library, boom, it's all in one listen. But I that I'll stop it there because I don't want to spoil absolutely anything, because there are some yeah, even in the first book, you're just like, oh, ooh, 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 oh. And all of a sudden, you're just like, you're kind of getting into it, to modern people adjusting to and living in the 1900s. And you're like, well, what happened? What did they just say? What did they reveal? Seriously? Wow, that is cool. And I don't want to reveal what that is, because it's a really, really good book. Definitely a little bit on the graphical side, So yeah, might not be for kids. You definitely have mature themes in there, so I think it's definitely for adult readers, or teenagers who are mentally adult enough to handle everything. You definitely have an interesting, how shall I say, without revealing anything, relationship ships there going on. But yeah, it's a good read, good listen, and definitely, if you like the whole time travel deal, if you like the parallel universe deal, and it's a complete series, all 6 books, it's complete. It's not one of these where you the Shorthand Chronicles. I was making sure I was still streaming, because also I'm like, oh, or what happened to the blue lines on the camera? I'm like, okay, we're still streaming. That's a good thing. But the Shortened Chronicles by Rosalind Tate, and the one you will want to pick up is the box set that has books 1 through 6. It is complete, so you don't have to worry about you're going to get hooked into this, and it's just starting. I'm like, you're like, then you're waiting for the next flipping book to come out, or you get into the series, and it's not done, and for some reason the author dropped it, and you're left hanging. You're like, the author ghosted you. You're just like, what? Where's the rest of the flipping series? Yeah, yeah, because there's this one series. Don't want to say the author's name, because well-known author, but it's a series about characters going through a multiverse. Really gets good. Then all of a sudden, just whomp, the series just stops, and you're searching the internet. You're searching, like, no more reviews. You're searching the internet. You're searching the name, and it was just dropped. So yeah, yeah. But this one is complete, definite banger. But once again, warning is that it can at times get a little bit on the graphic side. It's not super like, oh my good god, graphic, but yeah, it's definitely, I would say, adult level, as opposed to teenager slash young adult. Definite adult level. But yeah, the Shortened Chronicles by Rosalind Tate, definite, definite banger. And that's going to be it. As yeah, enjoy your President's Day, and a happy no junk meal. Yay! That just means more tomorrow. But yeah, sort of a chill sports day. Hopefully, there aren't too many knucklehead stories out there. But yeah, I actually saw the current events one over over in Russia, where you have the tanker slammed so hard into the port that they can't use it now. Okay, was it that? Yeah. How many do we have on this ship? Like Spaceballs? Yo, and I don't want to say the word. Yeah, but yeah, if you're familiar with the movie, where I was going with that. But anywho, stay chill. Hopefully, didn't get too drowned last night with the drenching in Florida with the rain coming through, because I saw that that happened apparently 30 minutes after the Daytona 500 finished. So that was pretty good planning. It was really good that they bumped the race up an hour, because if they didn't, it would have been delayed. So yeah. Anywho, talk at you later. Talk at you another time, and stay sane and stay safe. And on, Joel Verlin.